The crypto markets are tumbling once again, but this time they're tumbling despite the fact that over the last 2 days, we have had just a plethora of amazing news hitting. That's not the right expression right there. Amazing news that has come into the space, making people think that we were going to be bullish. There we go. I kind of wrapped it up there nice and cleanly. Guys, it's a live show, so sometimes I butcher these intros, and in videos I can go back and say it all over again, but live, we're live. Here we go. Let me know how you guys are feeling right now. In today's video, we're covering what this will look like. I got a lot of you guys with the title. I already saw in the comments a lot of people coming in here saying, Tim, you were just bullish the other day. Why are you bearish today? Well, maybe you should watch the stream all the way until the end, and you might find out that actually what we're seeing happen right now is something we predicted earlier this week. Yes, you can be both short-term bearish and long-term bullish at the exact same time. No, we are not flip-flopping here at the Tim Warren Trading Group. Instead, we're sitting back and we're relaxing. Some of us maybe even playing golf because everything is going according to plan. But if you slip up and fall for the trap of the composite man, if you allow yourself to get so down in the gutter negative, you're going to miss out on the run of a lifetime falling for that bear trap of the composite man. We're going to go through all of that and a whole lot more in today. Got a special announcement at the end of the show you do not want to miss out on. It's going to be very exciting. Stick around for that. While you're waiting on it, though, if you guys are still given some hope left for your crypto bag, smash that like button right now. Hey, even if you're bearish right now, smash the like button just to do it for free. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Now, real quickly, let's go in and bring on the rest of the team here. I got the regular crew. Got Smay and I got Shrum. Now, Smay, you're coming at us from a new location. Is today an off day for you?
Yeah, Tim. I just decided to get a quick round in while the weather's good. There's never a good time, never a bad time to hit the golf course and cover crypto at the same time. So, but Tim, real quick, I'm having some people in the cart waiting for me to go ahead and take my shot. So real quick, I'm going to go ahead and take my shot here. Right. 1 second. All right.
Line it up.
Yeah. Am I aimed the right way? There we go. All right.
There you go. Got a little curve on it.
Focus.
Oh!
Today.
Splash.
Guys, I think I laid it on the green.
I don't know. I heard a splash.
I thought
I
heard
you're
glass
enjoying your
break.
day, though, Smay. Love that for you. What about Shrum? How are we doing over here, Shrum? Not getting to golf here today. Oh my gosh. Okay. How are we doing today, Shrum? How are you feeling with this nice pullback in the crypto markets?
Hey, I'm looking to buy. I've got a little bit of cash set aside after taking some profits on Solana high. It's been a good time to be in cash. I'm not quite ready to deploy right now. I'm thinking we'll probably see a little bit more volatility into the weekend. And remember, we're going to remind you throughout the show, but Monday there will be no markets. Crypto markets are 24/7, 365 days a week, but U.S. equity markets will be closed for Labor Day on Monday. And you'll notice something, Tim, on my hat. Smay baby out at the course having a better time than all of us combined, but I've got my Florida Gators hat on because I'm excited for Saturday.
Yeah.
Football is coming, and the Gators are going to dominate.
Did you say 365 days a week?
I'm back
the markets home. Are open?
I may have, and if I did, I apologize.
That's a good amount of time right there. 365 days a week the markets are open, but not Monday. However, there will be a video coming out at 3 p.m. our normal time. So stick around for that. We'll be live on Tuesday to make up for being gone on Monday, but there's still a video coming out. We'll talk more about that video actually later on in the live show. Right now, guys, go ahead and smash that like button. Let's get a lot of likes in here even early so we get more and more people coming in. It's Friday, August 29th, the last live show of the week. Crypto's dropping, and yet the news just continues to pour on being bullish. Let's take a look here really quickly and go a different flow of show than we normally do. We're going to go through some really rapid fire news headlines and then kind of break them down slowly and get into the charts later on and explain just what is going on. Go to my screen here, Smay. Let's start with some news coming out this morning. Right? This was something we talked about earlier this week. The PCE print came in, and guess what? It came out exactly as we were expecting. 0.3 month over month, 2.9 year over year. The expectation was right there. So what does this mean? Ultimately, that was the core. Sorry, it's 2.6 for the regular PCE. This means that inflation is not out of control. What does this do? It actually went ahead and sent a lot of the prediction markets over. CME is back up over, let's see, let's refresh this. It was at 87 earlier today. All right, it's in the right south of 87, but you can see it ticked up slightly. The bigger news is actually Polymarket. Polymarket now coming in over an 81% probability. 81% of bettors out there are saying a 25 basis point cut is coming in September. And part of that is because inflation is not the problem. It absolutely looks like that unemployment is going to be the issue. And with that, pairing it with what Jerome Powell said just last week at Jackson Hole, rate cuts look extremely likely. That's going to be very bullish. But that's not the only headline we got that's bullish out here today. Breaking: Florida State Retirement Fund has disclosed an $80 million allocation into MSTR. Now, some of you might be saying, okay, first of all, Tim, that's not directly into crypto. It's into MicroStrategy, or now we call it strategy. Guess what? When you invest in MicroStrategy or strategy, you're pretty much just investing in Bitcoin in a roundabout way. 80 million is not that much, but simply the fact that retirement funds, which they don't play around with, let's be very, very honest here, people. You don't mess around with retirement money. You don't put it into something risky that can't make it far. I know $80 million is not that much money, but the fact that it's more than zero is a big, big win. Florida retirees are seeing the bright signs that Bitcoin is the future, and they're investing in MicroStrategy today to get ready for that retirement. That's some good news here. Keep going on. Yesterday, some amazing news coming out. If you are an American and you get frustrated with the different regulations that come in affecting what exchanges you can and can't use, I don't have the final answer for you, right? Right now, I'm going to tell you, go use BloFin. It's the best exchange if you want to leverage trade right now. Pay low fees. Right now, you can do that, no KYC. Depending on where you are, you don't have to use a VPN. But that could change in the near future because the U.S. financial regulator, CFTC, is now allowing U.S. traders, or they're talking about to allow U.S. traders to utilize offshore crypto exchanges. Is that MEXC? Is that BitGet? Is it Bybit? Is it Binance? Is it KuCoin? I don't know the end result, but what we know is for the last 16 years, America has been one of the more stringent countries in allowing what exchanges their citizens can use. The new regime of the CFTC may be bringing a change that allowing more Americans to get invested into the crypto space in more competitive ways. Amazing news right there. More amazing news. JP Morgan, that company that literally a year ago was telling you to stay away from Bitcoin because it was terrible. They have now come out saying that Bitcoin is, quote unquote, undervalued versus gold. We all know gold's had an amazing run so far this year, and they're pretty much saying, hey, you know that coin Bitcoin that we kind of sometimes call digital gold? Yeah, it's extremely undervalued compared to the gold asset. That's another sign of another grouping of people that are going to say, hey, do I have this extra change? If I want to fight against the inflation of the US dollar, what do I do with this? Do I go into gold? Do I go into Bitcoin? Oh, Bitcoin's undervalued. Let's go Bitcoin. Moving on, some other news that, of course, came out yesterday. This was some big, big, big stuff here. The U.S. Department of Commerce partners with Chainlink, and by the way, Pith as well, but they partner with Chainlink to bring the government macroeconomic data on chain. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We have been talking about that here on this channel for years now, that we need the blockchain involved with the government. We need transparency. We need instant access to know when they're lying to us, when they're not lying to us. Chainlink, of course, one of the darling coins we've talked about for a long time now. I'm not going to come out here and make some crazy claim that I was the first person ever bullish on Chainlink. That's ridiculous. There weren't, though, a lot of people that were as bullish as I was over 2 years ago when we started putting kind of our name on the line. We kind of said, listen, Chainlink is going to be special. Get ready to hear more about it in 2025. And after a lot of months in time where people thought we were crazy, and it looked like maybe we're getting a little bit more justified here. Chainlink going to be one of the most special cryptocurrencies in this bull run. And they're not the only one. Some other coins that will benefit from this would be Arbitrum, Avalanche, Base, which is not a cryptocurrency, that's Coinbase. But then by extension, you could kind of throw in there Aerodrome, but I digress. Botnix, Ethereum, Linear, Mantle, Optimism, Sonic, and Z-Sync And then again, the oracles named Chainlink and Pith. These are not the only coins that the government has relationships with. We've talked about a lot of different shows where the government has mentioned cryptos by name and pumped them and talked about their legitimacy for the future. Here's just another grouping of names to be on the lookout for. But despite all of this, right, I just went through a whole lot of headlines that should be causing bull markets to go crazy. When I take a look at the bubbles, with the exception of really just two things on here, Pith and M, and even Pith is regressing right now, it is a sea of red. When I start to look at some of these coins, Chainlink putting in a lower high here more recently. I look at a coin like Bitcoin, where Bitcoin just continues to come to the downside today, getting all the way down below $108,000. All of this good news is coming in, and yet the markets are going the wrong direction. Does that mean the bull market is over? Well, I actually tweeted about it just this morning. If you guys don't follow me on X, Tim Warren Trades, you should. I posed this just question. Like, there's a lot of people with this feeling right now. We've been getting good news, but the prices are dropping. Does that mean the bull market's over? And here's my reply to you. I gave it on X. I'm giving it to you now. No. No, bad news or good news paired with bad prices does not equal bear market coming. It equals whales have not yet gotten their fill. And when I go back to the charts, I told you we talked about this earlier this week. Go back and look at our channel. We talked about bear traps happening, but in that video, we talked about prices of things that were going to happen. We predicted the rest of this week would look like a major bear trap. It would cause confusion, fear, and doubt. It would cause FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt right there, and cause a lot of people who were looking to make a lot of money in crypto to feel discouraged and feel like it's time to jump ship. That's exactly what the composite man wants. And right now we're very close to targets that we talked about on this very show. I did give it to our VIP trading group first. I kind of run all of my thoughts past them first. So if you're looking to get an early access to my thoughts on the markets, make sure to check that out in the link down below. But even here on YouTube, for 100% free, just smash like, hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. I told you earlier this week, do not be surprised for a bear trap to play out. Do not be surprised to see good news followed by bad price action. I told you that Bitcoin had a lot of things calling for a price level down here towards 107,200, right? We have the quarterly open back here. On the daily chart, we have the bottom of the smart trail. We have a big order block. But another thing I'll add to the list I did not say earlier, but is worth note here on Bitcoin is let's just use some good old classic Fibonacci. You guys know during Fibonacci retracement periods, golden pockets are the normal pullback, even in bullish scenarios. Right now, where's that golden pocket coming in at? It's coming out here. Oh, look at that. Right there around that $107,200 level that we talked about literally earlier this week on Monday. If you guys are around and you're sticking to watch all the content we put out, I'm not saying I'm always right. I definitely am not always right, but I'm always giving you everything that I believe. I'm always being honest. I'm always being integral. I'm making predictions, and I do believe, I mean, you guys can challenge this in the comment section. I think the majority of our predictions have been coming right recently, and this is just one more. This does not surprise me at all, and for that reason, I've been sitting all week not buying dips, but waiting for these larger pullbacks to happen. I'm waiting for the pessimism to set in on the market. I'm waiting for the bear trap to be sprung, and then boom, we're moving back to the upside. Guys, everything is still pointing towards a major bull market coming. Ultimately, what we're looking at right now, as I told you earlier, is with all of the good news piling up, and I just showed you a lot of it. We talked about rate cuts coming. We talked about the regulation that continues to be friendly towards the crypto space. Whales and institutions are gonna get some. They're gonna make money. They're going to make billions. Some of them, who knows, maybe trillions. I don't know how much the highest whale is going to make, but billions for sure will be made in the crypto markets. But you know what they love to do? They love to confuse the retail investor. They love to bring the boat back so that they can buy their picks, their support levels, their entries will get filled, and then boom, we rip to the upside. How do I know this? Because it's been happening the entire bull market so far. Do you guys remember how many times we have called bear market on a pullback for Bitcoin so many times? Right now, Bitcoin, despite the fact that the Bitcoin dominance is falling, which means altcoins are outperforming it, Bitcoin is only down 12%. Some of you remember we've been down way worse here during this bull market. In the winter, January to April, guys, we dropped over 31%. The amount of people screaming at you that the bear market was here was deafening. But what did we tell you here on this channel? We sat here and said, no, bear market's not over, not in here yet. This is a pullback. This is a correction. Keep an eye on the 2 weekly smart trail. Do you guys remember this? Guess where we bounced almost perfectly. And in fact, I can't even say almost. That is as perfect gets. The 2 weekly smart trail, the top of it, the place where we bought here on this channel was the exact bottom after bear market is here. And then we would go on to set new all-time highs just a couple of short months later. We said the same thing back in March and April of 2024. But here on this channel, we said, no, keep an eye on it. We're pulling back, but this is all part of a pullback before new all-time highs come. We had another 30-something% pullback during the summer of 2024, 33%, and then boom, new all-time highs coming. I could go back and show you a whole lot more. What is my overall thoughts here? What am I trying to tell you? We have called bear market so many times, it is not funny. I've made a video last week for you telling you what you're going to want to see to predict a bear market. Tomorrow, I'll go into even more depth as to why I don't think we're anywhere close to a bear market. Some of you are going to say, hey, in the next 30 days, the 4-year cycle top should be in. I think the 4-year cycle top is dead, but I'll save that content for tomorrow at 11 a.m. That video will be coming out. Make sure to check it out and leave your thoughts down below. But in a nutshell, once again, we are playing this exactly as I was expecting all week. I will not be surprised whatsoever for us to hit my price targets, kind of have a boring weekend, and have a rally early next week on the first week of September. Let me know in the comments, do you agree or do you disagree? Are you guys bearish right now, or do you have the same hope that I have and the same vision of this whole manipulation play being just another way to get rid of retail investors before a roaring bull market happens? Let me know down below. Let's take a look at some other things here. As I mentioned, Bitcoin dominance, it is chilling. It's frozen. But during all this chaos, do you know how frequent it is when we have these pullbacks? Bitcoin, altcoins, they all pull back together. During normal beginning stages of a bull market, and definitely during a bear market, when you get these pullbacks, you see the Bitcoin dominance skyrocket. People flood out of altcoins. They flood out of their Bitcoin too, but they flood out of altcoins at twice, 3 times, quadruple the rate they're getting out of Bitcoin. And alts come crashing down, and Bitcoin kind of just simply falls. And this chart normally shoots to the upside. And yet right now, during this whole pullback, it's camping out at a level we had talked about being a level of support. We talked about 58% being a stopping point during this altcoin season, that we would get a little bit of a rally here, maybe the Bitcoin dominance bump a little bit. I'm frankly, if I'm being honest with you, I'm surprised that this hasn't popped back up towards 60% with everything happening. The fact that it is still hovering below 59% is extremely bullish to me. And so I'm continuing to monitor this chart. Will not be surprised if there is a bounce like this, but if we stay down low, it just makes me more bullish before we continue our way down towards 50% and maybe a little lower during this bull market. ETH holding up so much better than I thought it was. In fact, I think I told you guys in the show, this is going to be, I told you I'm not always right. I thought ETH would make a push a lot closer towards $41 or $4,000, $4,100 or $4,000. There's a lot of support levels down there. The daily smart trail is down here. We have liquidations on the 4-hour chart, I believe, all the way down here that are very interesting. We have green support levels here as well. If that'll go ahead and load for me. There we go. We have order blocks coming in down at these levels. There's just so much support. I would have thought the whales would be able to easily get us down there. And despite all this negativity, ETH is still maintaining and staying above 4,300. I'm not saying that we can't drop all the way to 4,100. In fact, I still have buy signals down at 4,100. But I'm getting to a place where I'm like, hey, I don't know if that buy level is going to get gotten or not. If I don't get it, I'll have to buy on the way up, because Ethereum is another coin very, very far away from its all-time high. And it's one of the biggest reasons why that Bitcoin dominance chart is continuing to stay low and put in those lower highs and lower lows. A coin that had a really special run, but we did short this actually over in the VIP trading group. If you want to see how we did it, All that information's over there, so go check that out today if you get a chance. We'll talk more about that a little bit later. But I knew that Solana, after this special run, was going to have a little bit of a pullback here. You can see we had a nice resistance touch right here, and this is something I just want to make sure we're very honest about Solana. I love Solana. I got a big bag of Solana. Solana's going to make me a lot of money. Don't be surprised by this pullback. This is one I think could go a little bit lower before we continue. Why? Because when I look at the formation and the contraction of price action, we're putting in higher highs and higher lows. That's bullish, yes, but we're constricting and getting less volatile as we move up. This makes what we call a rising wedge pattern, and more often than not, these break to the downside. I don't think we get the full bearish action. I think I talked about this the other day. A full bearish action would predict a price level all the way back down towards 127, 130. Don't think that's going to happen. But I think the bare minimum, I think the very bare minimum here that I'm expecting is at least to move probably back down here in the world of 189, back down towards support on this green line. I think more realistically, you start to look at some other things. You have a daily smart trail. You have key levels like the monthly open and other things coming in down at 170. The lower levels down here towards 160. I would not be surprised at all if Solana makes a spill all the way down to those levels, hits that 170, maybe comes down to 160, and then fakes back to the upside, sets a bear trap, and moves to the upside. But for now, this resistance was very key. Unless I see just massive volume come in when we break out, which we, of course, did not get, I'm going to predict this as just another, didn't mean to grab that one. I'm going to predict this just as one more good swing down and maybe even a fake out bear trap a little bit low below the support level. And then we're off to the races for Solana as well. That's my prediction there. We're talking about Chainlink getting phenomenal news here the other day. Got a nice little spike up on the news, but now it's right back down. Nothing crazy happening right here. And you know what? This is another coin. I don't think I'm going to get my buy signal in here. I thought originally we were going to get a move back down in the world of $20. A lot of support is going to be coming in down here around the $20 mark. So we have previous monthly high, the yearly open, a daily smart trail. We got order blocks in this realm as well. It's holding up pretty well. We're sitting on the last level of defense. If we can hold this level around 23, we might just go ahead and shoot up. Otherwise, I actually still have my fingers crossed that I can get some Chainlink down on $21 to $20. I have buy signals down there. Keep your eyes on that. But the point I'm trying to make here is I'm talking through this. We had some great news here. I'm telling you, the charts are showing short-term bearishness. These are opportunities that people should be taking advantage of. I'm not a financial advisor. You got to decide for yourself when you're comfortable buying, when you're not comfortable buying. I'm telling you what I'm doing, and I'm telling you because I've learned this lesson over 5 years of trading these crypto charts and watching how the manipulators play this space, this whole move this week. I called it early, and I'm sticking to it late. This whole move has been so manipulated. It's so textbook composite man manipulation. Make you say, print out some bullish articles, get you really bullish, get you to buy way too early before the bear trap comes in. Now we're crashing down. We're going to crush your spirit. We're going to convince you the bear market's here so that you sell at a loss. And then the composite man, the JP Morgans, the Fidelities, the BlackRocks, the Binances, the Coinbases even, these guys are part of it. They will buy up the dip on a bad day, convincing you the bear market's here, and then they'll take off and make the profit. Only the strong survive. I saw a comment earlier in chat. I want to go back to it. And again, not calling anyone out individually. I'm saying this is exactly what they want you to believe. I think it was Sonnen Brill. I think that's how his name. We're going back and forth. People in chat were talking about, I'm going to buy, I'm not going to buy. Sonnen came in and said, I'm tired of buying. Let's stop right there. Sonnen, I feel you. I get you. In fact, Tim Warren from 3-4 years ago was in the exact same boat. Tim Warren from 3 or 4 years ago allowed those emotional states to control when I was buying and when I was selling. I would get exhausted when I'd buy support levels I thought were perfect, and then I would keep getting crushed. But I learned my lesson. I started to learn, how does the composite man work? And can I tell you this right now, Sonnen? Go back to my chart here really quickly. Let's put this in perspective. Chainlink, after hitting 2781, it is down right now 16%. In the world of crypto, that is not a big deal. Bitcoin right now, from the all-time high, it is down a measly. We said it earlier, but let's do it again. It is down 12%. Ethereum, if I go over here and take a look at it, I'm not going to look at every crypto out here, but let's look at a couple. Ethereum is only down from all-time highs 11%. And yet, Sonnen, I understand your gut feeling that you're tired of buying the dips and you feel like this has just been one roller coaster that's beating you like a pulp left and right, like a bully on a playground that's been shaking you for days to get that lunch money out of your pockets. I understand it. But I also understand that's exactly where the composite man wants you. That's exactly where the manipulators want you. This is exactly how the whales work. They don't make it easy. If investing was easy, if it was obvious when to buy and when to sell, all of us would be multi-millionaires. We're not. We're not all that way. I'm not that way. Maybe some of you guys are. That's not going to be the easy route that's taken. It's the manipulation route. It is the how do I know to zig when they're saying to zag? Why? Because I've watched their patterns. I watch how they work. I've seen when they're putting out good articles, when they're putting out bad articles. What do those articles look like? Are they actual truth statements or are they simply opinions out there? Like I said, JP Morgan just said that Bitcoin is undervalued versus gold. I agree with them. But I also looked at an article like that and said, yeah, they're not buying yet. They want you to buy right now so they can sell off a little bit more and come down a little bit lower so they can get a better price action. That's how they play the game. And so you can cry about it. You can get tired of buying. You can allow your emotional state to control your investment decisions, or you can learn how to play the game. And I just told you it's not easy in the world of investing, but I'll tell you, once you learn the game, nothing's 100%. There's no such thing as a sure thing, but when you learn how to play the game that the composite man plays, it does get a whole lot easier and you get right a whole lot more often. So that's where we are right now. Where are you? Are you allowing your emotions to dictate your decision making, or are you going to learn to play the game? That's the big question right here. It is 3:27. We're halfway through the show. We talked about a lot of news here. I want to bring Shrum in here and get his take on this whole thing. By the way, Shrum was another one. It wasn't just me here telling you guys. We actually kind of talked about earlier this week that Shrum was a little bit worried that we weren't going to have a pullback. Why? Because he took some profits. He saw this same trap happening, and he's saying, I'm not deploying this cash back in until I get these pullbacks that we know the composite man does. There was a moment there. Both Shrum and I talked about it. We're like, man, were we wrong? Like, are we actually going to go and just rally right now? Nope. Turns out we were right the first time. Shrum, how are you feeling today, seeing this correction? I earlier today, you had a big smile on your face. Have you been buying? Are you close to buying? How are you feeling about this whole pullback despite all this positive news?
Yeah, I mean, I've been looking for entries, right? And I've been seeing them here and there. I've definitely picked up some more Ondo over this last week. I've picked up some more Sui over this last week because those names, I believe, are kind of underbought for where we are in the cycle, right? But I do think that Bitcoin may have a little ways further to go. How much further down? I think 106, right? I think 106 is where we could get down to and find a good solid support level and keep pushing higher. But I am in a little bit of cash because I'm thinking we do continue to see some downside testing during this weekend, right? The market's going to interpret the relatively good news we got from PCE. But I do think that there's going to be folks who say, you know what, look, I'm going to take a step out and I'm not coming back until after we get a decision September 17th. Right. So just keep that in mind. There's folks that, have the long term in mind, but they are going to take some off the table and just wait and say, let's just see what happens at the September 17th. Let's see what the FOMC decides. Until then, I'm just going to be on the sidelines. I'm going to be hitting the links. I'm going to be hanging out with Smay and just golfing, and I'll hit back with you. But we have to work, right? Us normal people on the ground, we still have to work. We got to do what we need to do. So we're going to be here and we're going to stay involved. And I think that this is a really good time if you're coming in late to the market, if you've only really understood what crypto is and the opportunity that exists here within the last 6 months, right? You've really only gotten very expensive prices for a lot of these altcoins. Now that we're getting a dip, this might be a time to deploy and actually take action on those thoughts you've been having, which are, man, I'm just going to wait to buy it when it comes lower. I like Chainlink. I get it. I like Bitcoin. I get it. I like Ethereum. I understand that it is the future of the internet, but I want to wait till it comes back. I don't want to buy the top. I want to buy when there's a pullback. Well, guess what? It's August 29th and there's a pullback. Are you going to buy it, or are you going to let the opportunity pass you by? I'm going to wait till there's a little bit lower, but I am absolutely buying this dip.
It is that classic meme you're going to see on the internet all the time where, you know, at one point Bitcoin was hovering around this level, 108, 106, you know, and then it took off to like 120. And the amount of people, why didn't I buy at 108? Oh, I'm such an idiot. Just come back one more time and I won't make the mistake. I promise this time I'll buy the Bitcoin. And now we're back here and you guys are saying, oh, bear market. It's over. Gotta sell. And then it's going to go back up and you're saying, oh, why didn't I buy the Bitcoin at 108? Listen, that's the game. We just got through it. That is the game. I love the number you can just throw out there, Shrum, about 106. I want to make sure we're clear here. That's actually not being thrown out in our trading group a lot. I'll tell you, 106 is a good level. Let's go back to the chart real quickly, even though we did some Bitcoin TA already. You're going to see a big pile right in here, right? I showed you, for example, liquidations here on the 4-hour chart, big pile of liquidations. Where's the bottom of that pile? 106. Where's the kind of top side of that pile? 107, right? When you take a look at the golden pocket, for example, I brought that up earlier in the show. Golden pocket, where's the top of the golden pocket? Around 107.5. Where's the bottom of it? Around 106.7 or 106.5, excuse me. I'm the type of guy, I'll just be honest with you. I don't buy when I see zones. We always like to draw singular lines, individual lines, and people want the line to be hit perfectly. Support and resistance is always a zone. So the support zone for Bitcoin right now, the next support zone, if we lose it, we go down towards 100,000. But the support zone is really 106 to 107, right? 106 to 107.2, give or take. I'm the type of guy, I'm being honest with you, I just don't like to miss out on things and have perfect TA and yet miss it. I always like to buy the top sides of zones, right? When you see me look at smart trails, for example, right, when we went to the 2 weekly smart trail, the sell signal we had back in the winter, where did I buy? Right, when we had this, I got to zoom back in. Here we go. I always buy the top of it. Some people say, oh, we could go all the way back down to 65. I say, you know, there's absolutely a chance Bitcoin could have gone down to 66,000, 65,000, the bottom of the smart trail. I always think the top of it. Well, guess what? Ended up calling it perfectly. Over here, I didn't. Right here, I bought in around 53,000. The price would go all the way down to 49. I like buying the top sides of support zones just in case of situations kind of like this, right? I don't like being left out on those. There's another thing I've learned over the 5 years of trading that I have. But kind of zooming back in, kind of talking about what Shrum was saying, we have some of our trading members in chat. If you guys are in the Tim Warren trading group and you're in chat, give a shout out. Tell people what it's like being over there on the daily basis. I like the top sides, though, of some of this stuff here. And again, when I bring in all the different things with order blocks, which that one's not the right order. Yeah, the bottom, there's order block right in here. When I look at the spaceman key indicators here, and I got to zoom out because I'm getting too muddy here with my technical analysis. Give me a second. When I look at the quarterly open at this level and I see that golden pocket at the top of it, I'm more comfortable buying the top around 107,000. But will not be surprised at all if people with entries are closer towards 106 get them entered. But you know what? When it's all said and done, yeah, maybe my entry looks something a little bit more like this, right? Maybe I let this take profit go all the way up here. Maybe I have a stop loss coming in somewhere here, you know, below 102,000. Just want to make sure we get out of this pocket. Maybe we do cut through my entry and go a little bit lower towards 106, and I'm in loss for a couple of hours or a couple of days at most. But then we shoot to the upside, guys. I'm not going to be complaining when Bitcoin's hitting new all-time highs, discussing whether I got the exact bottom or a good bottom at 107. That's kind of where I am. So you do your own research. Do you guys want to buy at 106? Do you want to buy at 107? Do you not want to buy at all? That's completely up to you guys. But just explaining the support zones and why, if you hear two guys who are on the same team say two different numbers, we're not lying to you or telling you completely different things. We're looking at the exact same concept and saying, well, my strategy is to buy tops. My strategy is tops of support. My strategy is to buy bottoms of support. It's all the same thing overall. So want to kind of give you some clarification, all of our new members, new viewers, if you're confused on that. That's what we mean by the 107 to 106 range. You can go ahead and take that off there really quickly. There are no indicators suggesting we will bounce up from there, though. What, are you looking for a sign out there that says this is the bottom? Yeah, that indicator doesn't exist. Major support, major target, major former level of resistance, golden pocket. I mean, I don't know what indicator we're looking for to say it won't bounce from there. I think there's actually a lot of screaming arguments. Now, it could go right through it. It absolutely could, right? There's no perfection about it. I will be very surprised if we slice through it like butter. I think we at least get a dead cat bounce off of it. But again, I just will not be surprised in the hindsight when we look at it and say, oh, that was the bottom of this pullback. That was the composite man's play. That's where the whales were loading up and buying their Bitcoin. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll wait and see over the next couple of days, next couple of weeks. I think September is going to be bullish, guys. And as we're coming to the end of August, we got 2 days left. 2 days left for August. I think September is going to be bullish. I saw someone else earlier. We talked about this Wednesday. Someone in here said, Tim, do you think we could drop below 100,000 in the month of September because it's historically the worst month? We went through this on Wednesday. Did we not? Did I only do that in VIP trading? I know I did it with the VIP traders as well, but didn't we go back on this show and take a look at the fact that if you went through all of them, the record is like 7-10 or something, or 7-9. Right. So of the 16 Septembers that Bitcoin's had, 7 Septembers have been bullish and 9 have been bearish. Yes, more have been bearish than bullish, but is that the odds we're playing and saying it's always bearish to say 9 out of 16 times is bearish, so therefore we're thinking it's going to happen again? I think we got to use a little bit more analysis out there than just, a lot of Septembers have been bearish in the past. Right? That's not a good reason. So, all right. What are some other questions here? Again, we're going to say we got a big announcement coming in. Very excited about something we're doing in the month of September with you, the community. I actually told the VIP trading group about this yesterday, but we're going to tell you guys here later on in the show. But we got a lot of time here. We can answer some questions. Let's look for some stuff there. But Shrum, I'll throw it back over to you. Anything else you kind of want to give, any takes, even some of the responses I just gave, or even on the news headlines we talked about earlier? Did you want to say anything about those headlines that I left out? I kind of ran through them quickly. Any thoughts you have that you want to mention before we move on?
Well, we're about to see this 2 more times, right? This period that we're in where we get a good print, yesterday's jobs print was pretty objectively bullish as well, where you get these good outcomes and then all of a sudden, you don't see price moving to the upside, right? We're about to see this 2 more times. Why do I say that? Because September 5th, we get the unemployment rate, and then we also get the inflation rate, the headline inflation rate on September 11th, okay? So we're going to be running this back again. Next week is September 5th. So we're going to have another week where the main magnet, the main force driver of the market is a news event that is going to inform whether or not they cut on the 17th of December. And in doing so, signal a pivot from quantitative tightening to quantitative easing. We've been talking about this since 2024, right? This should not be new to you unless you're newer to investing, in which, welcome. Definitely understand how the monetary system affects asset prices. So be prepared for that. We're about to do it again. If this is exhausting you, strap in, because we're about to do it 2 more times where we're going to get a major print, an economic print that's going to inform what happens next. I'm here for it though, right? What does it mean? It means that I'm a little bit more nimble on my trading side. I'm paying attention to trading because there's going to be opportunities through this volatility. We're headed into a period of uncertainty in September. Tim thinks it's going to be bullish. I happen to think it's going to be bullish on the other side of the Fed decision. I think leading into the decision, it could be an opportunity to see just how much pressure the bears can push on Bitcoin and other assets, including Tesla and Amazon and other assets on the stock market side, right? Really put some pressure on NVIDIA. See how low NVIDIA and AMD can get here while there's a little bit of a kind of some chatter around that's anti-AI. AI is not producing the returns that the billionaires were thinking it was going to, right? Manipulators want to seize on that chatter. They're hearing it too, right? So I think the beginning of September, there's going to be enough uncertainty. There's going to be a lot of worry and fear around those two big events, the 5th and the 11th. I think that we chop down to sideways in the first half of September, but then after that, it is going to be like a shot to the upside. Now, for those of you who are experienced, you're hearing that and you're thinking, wow, well, if retail's thinking that, then probably that's not what's going to happen. So, but Tim, it sounded like you had something on that one.
No, I think that's a very good conversation to have here, and we have some time here. I got a question queued for this right after, but go ahead and keep dropping some questions, guys. If you have anything you want to ask me or Shrum or Smay, who's out at the golf course, or maybe he's back home now, I can't remember. Good conversation for us to have. Great evidence right there, guys. Even though Shrum and I work together on a daily basis, we are so like-minded. Sounds like a small difference of opinion here. Love it. Let's talk about it right now. But there might not be a difference, so I want to clarify some stuff about what you said here, because using the expression middle of September is a very rough expression. When does the middle of September start? The 10th? Not till the 15th? Like, lay for me a scenario of what you would expect to happen. And we'll keep in mind, you and I are both very aware of the fact that we will have unemployment numbers on September 5th. We'll have inflation numbers on September 11th. So we're aware of those things. Lay for me an expectation of yours for a calendar rally on Bitcoin and crypto in September. Are you saying we wait until after the actual FOMC, which the date of that one is escaping my head? It's September 17th. So are you saying we're waiting until after the 17th? Are we waiting until after the 11th, after the 5th? When you say middle, what is the middle that you think the rally begins?
It just depends. It depends how those prints go, right? Because if we get high unemployment, then it's game on. That 81% on Polymarket turns into probably 85, maybe even tickling 90%, right? And then even more so if the September 11th rolls around and we get a cold inflation print, it's a near certainty that we're going to get a cut in September 17th. So in that scenario, the uncertainty works in the favor of the bulls. But if we get to the 5th and the jobs numbers are really, really dynamic and resilient, meaning well below 4.2. There's just a crazy, reset with that. And then we get to the 11th and there's a really hot inflation print. That could potentially trigger a scenario where the Fed may still cut, but the media, like they did with the Jackson Hole event, the media just turns 360 and they're just like, ooh, this is going to be bearish. They're not going to cut. And he's going to say they're not going to cut for until 2026, right? The media can just do that, right? Nobody's stopping them. Nobody's stopping the retail consensus from just running away and going bearish and pulling Polymarket back down to what I think it got as low as like 72 or 65 or something like that. So that's why I think in that period of uncertainty, essentially from like essentially like next week, September 3rd through the 17th, there's kind of in my mind, it depends what happens with those prints. But if they are bearish, then I think we're lower here. I think we're lower. I think we're probably around, 100,000 for Bitcoin. If both of those go against
the wrong direction.
Right. If those go unfavorably now, but they could have just as easily go favorably though. And maybe we're back at all-time highs for Bitcoin even before we get the rate cut. So but you have to pay attention to the numbers. That's what matters.
Yeah. Hearing that, I don't think we're as different as maybe it was originally thought. Here's what I'll say. Yeah, if the unemployment comes in low and inflation comes out high, I think there will be a swing of opinion about whether we get a rate cut or not. And maybe Jerome Powell comes out on the FOMC day and he says, okay, guys, actually, turns out inflation is a bigger concern than unemployment. Absolutely. If that happens, sure, let's call September a red month. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, even if we don't get a rate cut, we're going to have a bullish September because September is going to be bullish. No, September being bullish will hinge upon the rate cuts coming, okay? Not the bull market. I think the bull market extends no matter what. I think we don't get rate cuts. It's just another reason to drop a little bit lower. People buy the dips. We'll rally later on like we've been doing all of 2025, okay? But here's the reality. We have something different this time than we've had other times. We've had decent unemployment prints, bad unemployment prints. We've had decent inflation prints, bad inflation prints. The chaos has been all over the place, but the certainty we had Was Jerome Powell coming out, whether he was speaking at the FOMC or just giving a regular press conference saying, yeah, we're just going to keep on checking out the data as it comes. And honestly, right now, the markets are resilient, but we're still want to get inflation down to 2% and the economy is okay. That is how we've been living all of 2025. This one's different. At Jackson Hole, we heard something from Jerome Powell we have not heard since back in August of 2024. Now, before I say what we heard different, some of you remember in August of 2024, the Fed cut their interest rates by 50 points. I'm not predicting another 50-point cut, but my point is the last time we heard this type of speaking from Jerome Powell, we got a massive cut to the interest rates. What did he say? For the first time in 2025, Jerome Powell said, it's time to start pivoting our attention away from inflation concerns and into unemployment concerns. That's the first time we've heard it all year. That is different. I think we're going to need to see a major thing come out on unemployment numbers on the 5th to sway him. We're going to need to see unemployment plummet for him to change his mind. Here's why I think we rally early in September, though, and we don't wait for those prints. This whole move, I have said, is an overreaction manipulation play to last week's update when Jerome Powell said what he said. The retail investors bought the dip on the day he made the announcement. Wales said, okay, cool, that's really bullish. Let's sell right here. Let's confuse retail. Let's bring it down. Let's buy our dip so that we can benefit from this good news. But as we know, with years of experience, we never wait for the actual good news to happen for the real rally to happen. Any bullish news that takes us by surprise plays out exactly like last week did, where that bullish news took us by surprise. We shot to the upside, hit a new all-time high on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and then we came back down. Right? Why? Because the surprise bullish news is not going to be the bullish trajectory. We're going to see confusion. We're going to see manipulation. Now, we're looking forward. We're seeing the lights at the end of the tunnel. Rate cuts are coming. We will not wait for the actual announcement on September 17th. The whales will buy early and they'll keep going. And what's going to happen, in my opinion, is that they're buying around right now, over this weekend, early next week. They're going to roll it into the 5th news, where I'm expecting unemployment numbers to come out break even or higher than expected. That will then keep it going to the upside, or cause if it kind of slows down a little bit but keeps going up. They'll continue into the 11th with inflation data, but ultimately they'll buy the dip early because all eyes and signs at this point, for the first time in all of 2025, is that Jerome Powell and the Fed are finally going to cut rates. We don't wait for the 17th to rally. We rally early, and then we get on the 17th, which makes it go up even higher. Now, do not be surprised. I still want to make sure we're right here with this expectation. I talk about this in tomorrow's video. The 4-year cycle is dead, in my opinion. We will continue, and we will hit new all-time highs in 2026. So don't take what I'm about to say and say Tim's all over the place. I'm predicting new all-time highs in 2026. Will we, at the end of September, and I think that's a little early at this point, maybe early October or sometime during October, will we have another local top? Will we have an explosion of Bitcoin price where Bitcoin makes it to like 140, 150, heck, maybe 175? Will Chainlink hit $50 or $60? Will Ethereum hit $6,000, $7,500? Will we hit these new all-time highs explosively and then have another local top similar to January or March, January of 2025, March of 2024, where Bitcoin pulls back maybe 20, maybe 30%. I think that's a little aggressive. I think 20 is more realistic. But altcoins like Ethereum or Chainlink, I think they could pull back 50%. Why? Because more manipulation. There will be the people thinking 4-year cycle still intact that will sell every single Satoshi that they have. This will be a golden opportunity for the composite man and the whales to buy a price dip low, Bitcoin down 20%, altcoins down 50%, and then take off to brand new all-time highs in 2026. I think the new normal, if you've been investing for a while and you're used to this year-long bear market, followed by 3 years or 2 years of slow growth, and then 1 year of explosive growth in Bitcoin and crypto, and then it starts another cycle over the 1 year bear market, I think you're throwing that plan out the window. The 4-year cycle is dead. I think this new normal is what we've seen over the last 2 years. Great news, explosion in price, multi-month consolidation, 20, 30% down for Bitcoin, followed by the next explosive target. We shoot up to new highs, followed by another multi-month long correction. What am I saying? I think we get great news. We explode in September. We hit new all-time highs. We get up there, and then boom, we start a little bit of correction that lasts maybe all of October and November. Maybe we start to re-rally in December, or maybe December keeps going bearish. I can't tell you exactly how that's going to work out. I haven't really gotten that far in my analysis yet. But what I'm getting at is whether that dip is only October or October, November, or whether we finish the year going down quarter one of 2026. I'm saying it. I'm predicting it. New all-time highs will be hit on Bitcoin and altcoins in Q1. So jot that down. Write it down. Keep me accountable. Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Come back, roast me. Leave comments on the channel saying, Tim, remember when you said new all-time highs in quarter one of 2026? Go ahead. I'm not going to quit the game. I'm not going to hang my head. I'm going to have plans in order to make sure I'm hedging my bets and have the right risk management. But that's my prediction of what I think the next couple of months will look like. One more question, then we have a big announcement here. I've been teasing this for something really excited for the month of September, which again, I think is going to be bullish. I think this plan and what we're going to be doing is going to be very bullish. But Barry K said, Tim, how do you manage short-term capital gains? Number one, I pray about them. All right, I'm praying that our government gets rid of capital gains for crypto. That's my number one thing I do. And you think I'm joking, but I'm being dead serious. I actually pray for that all the time. That would be awesome. But the reality is, I take them like a grown man, Barry. They are what they are. I'm a trader. I get in, I get out. I day trade. Occasionally, I'm scalping, doing a lot of swing trades. I have my long-term bags I bought years ago, and they're still there, and I'm going to be able to get long-term capital gains on them. But on my short-term capital gain side, all the trading I'm doing, I'm going to play by the laws. I'm going to play by the rules. Now, I have a great tax attorney, Ernest, over at decrypted.tax. Wasn't even planned shout out there. You asked the question, I'm bringing it up. I got a great team behind me, and you guys can too. Go check out in the link down below. He's an awesome guy. His team is awesome. They help me out, saving every penny I can from paying extra taxes to Uncle Sam. But I will pay Uncle Sam what I legally have to. And in this case, short-term capital gains, they are what they are, and I'm going to embrace them, and I'm going to deal with them, and I'm going to pay them. But I'm also, like I said in the first place, I'm going to pray, and I'm going to try to vote as best I can when I can to get legislation in order where maybe we can get the right people to say, you know what, let's get rid of these capital gains taxes on cryptocurrency, at least if not the rest of the investing world as well. That's my answer. All right. Guys, make sure to smash that like button. We got over 950 people in here right now. How many likes? I didn't refresh my page. So at the moment, I see 15 likes, but there's no way that we only have 15 likes. But unfortunately, I think it's going to be a lot lower than I thought. Oh.
285, 295.
295.
Brutal.
With 950 people are watching, and we have, all right, now it's 311. It's coming up there, but you guys got to smash. It's a free button, by the way, in case anyone noticed. It does not, the like button and the subscribe button does not tie to your bank account or your crypto exchanges. It's free, right? There are ways if you want to pay money and be in our trading group, go check that out. I think it's worth your while. I think you'll make a lot of money being in there. It'll pay it off and more. But hey, if you want free, you got free. That like button and subscribe button, they are always free. Click them when you can. Month of September, guys, cannot wait for this. This is something that kind of came into my brain last month. I'm a big sports fan. Obviously, we're going into college football season, and this isn't applied to college football. It kind of does, but it's more involved with like college basketball. I was seeing a lot of people debating which altcoin would be the best altcoin to hold for 10 years. And of course, you're going to have communities just hardcore going after their favorite coin. You're going to have some people trying to be as reasonable as possible and look at the value of each coin and say, well, this coin's better than that coin. And I thought to myself, why don't we have an actual bracket to vote and let the people decide what coin looks like the best coin to hold for the next 10 years? And guess what? We did. We're setting that up right now. Smay, share your screen. And we're starting something in the month of September called Moon Madness. Now, you'll see the bracketing system. Again, if you don't know college basketball, that's okay. You don't have to. You can understand the concept of a bracket. And what we're doing here is we're going to, every single week, we're going to have votes on this throughout the entire month of September. It's not going to be me telling you what's happening. You're going to decide, you the people. You guys get to vote every single week on these polls. We'll talk about it at the end of every live show. How's it going? Who's winning? I ultimately ranked it from 1 to 32. We took out all the stable coins, we took out exchange tokens, and we took out coins like Ethereum Classic, just some copycat coins I don't really think anyone would vote for anyway. We did this, and you guys are going to decide. We have a video coming out Monday. It will be Labor Day. We will not be live, but a video will be going out. We're going to lay out exactly what is happening on this bracket, some of our expectations, our predictions, just like we were reviewing a sports game. But I'm really excited for you guys to participate. Go out there and tell people about it. Make sure you're following us over on X. Let me go ahead and over to my screen here really quickly, Smay. Make sure if you guys are not on X, or if you're not following on X, at Tim Warren Trades. You'll see that face right there, that guy, blue check. But make sure it says at Tim Warren Trades. There are copycats out there. And every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we will talk about on the live shows. We'll be putting out polls for you guys to vote. Go back to it, Smay, the bracket. You guys are going to decide who is better than who. Look at some of these matchups. Week 1, XRP versus Kaspa. This is the worst. Chainlink versus Ondo in week 1. And guess what? If Link gets past Ondo, they got to go up against either XRP or Kaspa in week 2. Who's going to be the champ? You guys can let us know in the comments down below, but if you really want to affect it, you got to go over on X and you got to vote for it each and every single day those polls are out. Shrum and Smay, any thoughts from you guys on this? Are you guys excited about this? Anything I'm leaving out that people need to know about here?
I am really cheering for ENA. I don't know if it's going to win, but ENA is kind of my underdog win that I want it to win. Now, we put out a video on Monday that's going to explain all of this much more, and Crux jumped into that video and shared his opinions on it too. We talked about what our Cinderella stories were. We talked about what our favorite matchups were. You guys are really going to enjoy that video.
I saw someone in the chat say, how is Ondo number 26? Guys, if you're looking at this, I know it's all out of order, but ETH 1, XRP 2, Sol 3, Doge 4, this, when we set it up yesterday, right, was the list of order of market cap dominance at the top down. So it is ranked by who is the larger market cap. So Ondo, as much as I love Ondo, and Ondo is a superstar coin for the future, in this list, it has the 26th largest market cap. Now, it's not number 26 on CoinMarketCap because, again, it's not bigger than stable coins, exchange tokens, and some other things. But of these coins in the competition, 25 other coins have larger market caps at the moment than it does, right? So that is where the rankings come from. Some of you might look at a lot of coins on here and say, why is that a high seed? That coin sucks. I just made the rules. That's all I did. I just made the bracket. I assigned the highest market cap to the ranking system. Go vote on it. If you think that Ondo should win the whole thing, vote on it every single time that sucker's out on our page. If I told them in the video, if you hate a coin on here, I would like to think people are going to vote with integrity and try to be honest on here. But if you simply just hate a token and you hate a coin, like there's a lot of people that hate Cardano, and you just want to go on there and vote for Pi, even though you don't care about Pi, I can't stop you from voting from any one coin. I'm not going to decide who the winner is. You're going to decide who the winner is, and that's going to be Moon Madness through the month of September. Let me know in the comments right now. Is this the dumbest idea you guys have ever heard, or are other people excited about this as well? I will admit, this idea came to me late at night while I was putting my son to bed. Some of my greatest thoughts and plans have come during that time, but I'll be honest, some of my worst have come at those times as well. Am I an idiot? And is this the worst decision we've ever done, or is this going to be really cool? Let me know. A lot of people saying awesome. Sheeb is not 15 in CoinMarketCap. No, Saul, it's not number 15. But again, when I take out the exchange tokens, when I take out the stable coins, and it moves up, right? So that's where that's coming from.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Don't overthink this. What you should be doing is thinking, man, I'm going to go get all my friends who I know love Sui, and I'm going to activate those communities, and I'm going to get them to vote in the poll that Tim Warren posts for the first week for Sui versus Near. Or if I'm a big Tawn fan, I have a lot of Tawn, I'm going to go rustle the Tawn trees and say, hear ye, go jump into the poll so that our community can get the proper representation. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's all starting next week.
Yep, there we go. Guys, that's going to wrap up our show here today. Blance says, honestly, what the bad word is going on? I am getting chopped up and spit out. Holding is brutal, Blance. Yeah, it is. Holding, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Holding can be brutal, but it's so rewarding when you hold through the chaos and wait for the right times and decisions to sell. A time is not now, in my opinion. Hold on there, Blance. I promise you there will be a time. Anyone who thinks that I'm a perma bull and I'm saying just hold forever, I promise you. I promise you guys with every fiber of my being, when it's time to sell, in my opinion, I will tell you. I'm not going to keep it like a little secret. I might tell the VIP trading group a couple of hours before you guys, right? Because I'll get to talk with them first. But I will tell you right here on this channel, hey guys, I don't like this. This looks like a topping position. Let's go ahead and take some profit and walk away. I promise you we will say that. But I'll also promise you that day is not today. I think there's a tweet out earlier today from the former CEO of Binance, CZ. He said the biggest mistake you can make in a nutshell is selling during a dip, right? If you wanted to sell back up 124,000, I get you. But selling right now, it's not going to work out for you. There will be a time. We will tell you right here on the Tim Warren channel. So smash the like, subscribe to the channel, watch all of our videos. Don't just look at titles and assume you know what we're going to say in the video. Watch the content. We have hour-long live shows. I know they're long. You don't like hour-long live shows, which you guys are watching right now, so I don't think there's a lot of you like that. Go watch the videos. We're putting out 3 videos a week that are less than 20 minutes long. We have 3 live shows. We're doing so much every single day in the VIP trading group. If you want to win, you want to make money, you want to be successful, hang out with this team. We got your back. We'll see you next time. Love you. See you Monday.